All right, just a short vocab here on rounding and estimating. And we're going to cover this because at some point I'm going to have you compare numbers and put them in order. And if we round and estimate first, it makes some of those way easier. So we'll talk about that here. And there's some very specific kinds of rounding, and those will be presented in your lessons. Yeah. First off, the idea of rounding, using a simpler version of a number when an exact answer is not needed. And what that looks like, if you need to pause to write it down, go ahead and do that. What that looks like is, let's say, again, you don't need an exact answer. Let's say I have 12.32 plus 16.89. So I don't need an exact answer, but I want to have a good idea. And where this is really useful is in the real world, like you're out shopping, things like that. I like to call this how not to get ripped off math. Because when you get up to the checkout counter when you're shopping, it's a good idea to have, know how much you should owe. There are many times that I've had to discuss with checkers how that's way off. I know better. I know it's wrong. So let's say these are the two things you bought, right? You don't want to come with an exact answer, but 12.32, well, that's about 12. Right, if I round to the next whole number. Depends on where I ask you to round to, right? And 16.89, well, that's almost 17. So when I get up there, I should have somewhere around 29. You could really round to 30 in your head if you wanted to, but around 29, $30 that you owe, if this were a real thing. And remember when you're rounding, there's that rule of looking at the next digit, right? So if I have 12.27, and I say around to the nearest tenth, not tens, but the nearest tenth. So that's this spot right here. Remember, I look at the next number, and if that number is less than 5, you round down. If that number is 5 or more, you round up. So I can see here that this is a 7, so it's more than 5. And so I'd round this number up, so that becomes 12.3 in rounding. Okay? And these I just rounded, so I looked here, I said 12, well, 12.3, well, that rounds down because this is less than 5. And this is 16, right? And the 8 is 5 or more, so I round up. So that's where I got those from. Alrighty, estimating is an educated guess of a sum, difference, product, or quotient. Kind of showed you that in the last one. Used to check reasonableness of an answer. And the symbol here, it's a double tilde. It's a couple of squiggles, right? And again, that's the example I gave last time. Let's say you get up the checkout counter, you bought a few things. You bought something for $1.59, and you bought something for $2.37, and you bought something else for $4.28. Like, well, how much should I have when I get up there? Well, you could, estimate pretty easily. This is certainly, if you rounded up on to whole dollars, so think about that, whole dollars, you could round that clear up to 2 if you wanted to. You could round it to $1.60 if you want to. This one, you could round probably down closer to $2. This one, you could certainly round to $4. So when you get up there, again, rounding, look at that next digit, right? When you get up there, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. Somewhere around $8 is what you should probably owe. And I didn't do the exact math on this one. It's going to be probably a little bit more than that. Maybe right in the ballpark of, I guess. It's actually 8.24, so that's pretty close. This is one of my favorite terms that we learned this year. Honestly, I learned it when I started teaching this. Compatible numbers. So these are numbers that are easy to divide mentally. So division is one of the tougher ones. So let me give you an idea here. Let's say I'm looking at, let's say 10.32 divided by 2.89. Now, compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to divide. So you could say, this rounds to 10, right? This rounds to 3. Well, that 10 divided by 3 is not like super easy. But if I were to instead decide to round this one a little bit differently, I could round this, say, to 9, this one to 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Likewise, I could round this clear up to 12 if I wanted to, and this still to 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So you have a pretty good idea that your answer is somewhere between 3 and 4 for this. In fact, it's about 3.57. So notice that, that's not too bad. So whichever way you rounded, you would still be pretty daggone close. Again, compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to divide together. And we'll have some practice on that. Don't worry about that.